the Republican senator today, who, confronted with numbers that I'm sure he said would never come to pass, just decided they weren't real. We were cooking the books. Don't you think we would have cooked them in October and November? We could have saved ourselves a lot of pain.
All right, I don't know why it started yesterday when I guess responding to an accusation that the numbers of sign-ups for Obamacare weren't real, that the books were cooked, and you heard what he had to say. Joining us now to talk about that and so much more is our friend, former Florida congressman, former lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army, the one and only Alan West. Great to see you.
Good to be with you,
Always
Steve.
Great to see you, and of course the new book.
We got our wardrobe.
Look at this. Look at the. Can we get a two-shot here of the? Yeah, look at this. Red tie, blue shirt. But I like his decorations a lot more than mine with the hanky. But anyway, the new book, Alan. Congratulations on it. Guardian of the Republic. And this isn't, I mean, it's autobiographical to an extent, but it's not your typical autobiography. It's who you are, it's what you believe in, it's your vision for the nation, and I think it's a very important book because I think you're a very important voice that we could certainly use anywhere, back in the media or back in Washington if you so choose. But let's talk about this Obamacare for a second. That was when it was 6 million. That was yesterday. Now, miraculously, it's 7 million. That goal, which they said they never had, now they say they've reached. Do you buy any of that?
Well, the amazing thing, and the comparison I make it to, let's imagine there was an athletic event, a sporting event, and only one team showed up, and no one was in the stands. The scoreboard can say whatever that one team wants it to say because no one is there to challenge it or know. You know, we don't know what we don't know as far as the Obamacare numbers. We don't know if it's 6 or 7 million. We don't know of that. What does it mean to signed on? Have they paid? Have they gotten their insurance notification and cars back? So, and then how many of these young people have signed up to defray the cost? So I think as we go forward now, the real test is going to come about because our doctor's going to accept it, our hospital is going to accept it. What about, you know, the doubling and tripling of these insurance premiums for people? I think that you'll hear more stories, and of course, the more negative stories, the more delays, waivers, and exemptions will come out.
And you know, it was brought to my attention, and this is a great point, that you know, 6 million people lost their insurance.
Yes.
And now they're saying 7 million people signed up. So what is it, a net plus of 1 million?
Yeah, you're still in the hole.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you started out going into this saying that you wanted to have 7 million.
Yeah.
But of course, because of those junk plans that were not compliant,
You canceled 6 million.
You canceled 6 million.
Yeah.
So now that puts you in the whole 13 million. So now you're coming back and saying we've got, you know, 6 or 7 million. Who's on first? It's like the Abbott and Costello routine.
It only affects real people in real lives, unfortunately. Okay, I mean, every poll agrees with you and me to an extent. They don't like Obama. They don't trust Obama. They don't like any policy I could find, whether it's Obamacare, foreign policy, economic policy. And the Democrats are tied to him, and they stick up for him, and he sticks up for them. Yet, you know, we question, can we take back the Senate? Will the Republicans take back the Senate? Many say it's a fait accompli. Hillary will be the next president because she's a woman. What's wrong with this country? If they see what's going on to the point where they don't like it, why don't they just want to change it?
Well, see, that's what I tried to write in the book, was talking about, you know, when President Obama said we're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming America, no one asked transforming it to what? And even more so, transforming it from what? And I think that what we try to do in the book is talk about the fundamental values of America, what we really stand for, and how it applies to the issues today. Because the path that we're on is not the path of, you know, true, you know, growth, opportunity, and prosperity, which is what this country has always been about for the past 237 years. So I think right now the American people need to ask themselves, you know, what America do we want? What type of leadership do we want? And it's important for, you know, the conservative side to really be able to show an agenda that takes people forward, but not just the message, but also an image, a persona, a type of leader that can make the connection with the American people, no matter where you're from, no matter where you came from, to this great nation.
And who is that? I mean, and it would be so important. It is so important, and it has been so important for so long. And you and I have talked about this over and over, to reach out to the African American community, Hispanic community. There was just a study on the Media Research Center that said Hispanic television and news is 6 to 1 liberal. So when again, the Hispanic community overall is conservative in their values for the most part, as is the African American community. Why the disconnect, and how, once and for all, what concrete steps could the Republicans and the RNC and candidates take to turn that around?
Well, and again, a part of this book is about, black conservatism. So we need to take that message there, just the same as in the Hispanic community. One of the great places we can make inroads with the black community right now is to talk about school choice. When you look at the fact President Obama canceled the D.C. school voucher program in April 2009, he has his attorney general going after the school voucher program in Louisiana. You look at Mayor de Blasio here in New York City going after the Success Academy in Harlem. So, there's a point where we can make that inroads to say, here we are, we're talking about education opportunities for your children, and this is part of our roadmap. Because the Democrats can't go there because they're tied to the teachers' unions and what have you.
Absolutely,
And so that's how we take our principles, but we have to turn it into policy and talk about policy inclusiveness to all of these different communities.
And again, if the African American community knew, if the American public knew that Barack Obama did what you said he did and what he did do in D.C. to poor black families, they would be outraged, but you have a media that will not report the news. Now, Bill de Blasio, you mentioned him, with the charter schools, his attack on charter schools, commercial after commercial and news report after news report of upset, outraged minority parents who voted for him, saying, what's going on here? They're outraged. And listen to how his greeting, he was at Citi Field yesterday. Let's watch and listen to Bill de Blasio's greeting at the Mets home opener.
Very special ceremony of first pitch. Boys and girls from the East Harlem tutorial program. I didn't recognize him. New York City, Bill de Blasio.
They booed him. There was a lot of, when he came out, we didn't see him come out. There was a lot of boos.
Now, I tell you what, that's at Citi Field with the Mets. I wonder what will happen when he throws out the opening pitch for the Yankees, even if he does.
Yeah, no, I don't know if he'll do both. That's a good question. Yankees tend to be more, I would say, military related and honor people. But first of all, notice they don't show in that clip if he bounced it. They just focused on him. I guess they learned their lesson with Obama when he bounced it a couple of times. But anyway, okay, so you feel that's doable.
It's very doable.
Okay.
It just, you have to have a plan. And I think one of the problems with the Republican Party, they don't have that strategic plan, strategic vision, and they need to identify key voices that can go out there and take their message.
You think the Republicans are taking the Senate back?
I really believe they will, and you always look and see what the other side is doing, and they're nervous about it. The fact that you have 6 Democrat senators coming out and talking about how they're going to fix Obamacare, absolutely, they're concerned.
We got about a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes left. In a minute and a half, tell the folks the Allen West, something about Allen West that maybe they don't know that they're going to find out from this book.
Well, I think that you will find out that truly in my heart I'm an introvert. I like to be off and alone, be quiet, but when it comes to serving your country, you have to step outside your comfort zones. And I think that this book really takes you back to my early beginnings as a child in the inner city of Atlanta, Georgia, to where I am today. And you can understand why I care so deeply and I fight so hard for this great nation, because it means so much to me.
When Senator Pryor, one of the senators in trouble from Arkansas, says of Congressman Tom Cotton, who's a proud vet, that he feels a sense of entitlement to be in the Senate, and that's wrong. It doesn't work that way. And then he doubles down on those statements. That's got to be particularly offensive to veterans.
It has to be, and it is. And that shows the incredible disconnect on the other side, that they really don't understand what it means to be a guardian of the Republic. They don't understand what it means service, sacrifice, and commitment to a core set of values.
Jonathan Pollard being offered as bait to the Israelis, releasing Jonathan Pollard. Should they go for that?
Well, it depends on what they have to give up on the other side. I mean, of course, everyone wants to see Jonathan
Palestinian prisoners, extending the talks, settlement freeze.
You got to be very careful about that, because the recidivism rate is going to be very high once you release those individuals. So you got to think about the future of Israel and not make the short-sighted decision.
I'm with you. Guardian of the Republic, and he is a guardian of the Republic. It is a perfect title. And, of course, the one and only Allen West. Allen,
thanks so much.
I never know to call you Congressman or Colonel or Allen.
I'm your friend. It's Allen.
I know. Well, we dress alike. Our hair's gray. Whatever. All right, we're coming back with the panel, ladies and gentlemen, on the Steve Malzberg Show. Don't go away.
The Steve Malzberg Show.